Thank you for coming back to the second episode of my show. Now, many of you in the fashion industry would have heard of, taken part in, or even attended the Inspiring Edge fashion show. Well, today I have the honor of meeting with and chatting to the lady herself, Haylee Venus. Haylee is a mother of two, and whilst her children were younger, she decided to work on getting her degree. But after graduation, Haylee found it difficult to get employment, as most workplaces require us to have work experience. And one thing I know about mothers, they never give up. Haylee created a company called the Embrace You Empire and solved her own issue as well as others by creating a task force of creatives needing a break. Haylee, thank you so much for coming on my show and being part of it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's really an honor to have you here. Of course, I've heard a lot about Inspiring Edge over the last few years. And am I right that this year is your 4th year?
Yeah, this is our 4th year.
Doing the show?
Yeah, 4th year of Inspiring Edge.
So before we get into the actual fashion show itself, what I really want to ask you is about the Embrace You Empire. What is this company about? Because this company you created before you created the fashion show.
I created the company with the fashion show.
Okay.
So the fashion show kind of leveraged the company.
Yeah.
But Embrace You is a creative network of entrepreneurs. So everybody's an individual, but we come together to provide a platform for creatives to showcase and develop their gifts. So everyone from the photographer, from the videographer, from models to dancers, artists, we bring them together for different types of events, workshops and programs.
And do you have to make an application to join the company, the Embrace You?
At the moment, we have a database. So what we do is when we meet different people, when we network, we usually take their contact details and ask them what they would be interested in pursuing in the creative industry. And then when something comes up, or if we're planning an event, then we usually contact them and say, well, we have this approaching, would you like to be a part of it?
That sounds really amazing.
Thank you.
And I have to say that I find it extremely inspiring, like I said earlier on in my introduction, that when you couldn't find the opportunity outside, you created the company and made the opportunity happen for yourself.
Yeah.
And of course, you've made the opportunity happen for other people as well. And now, let's talk about Inspiring Edge. I mean, from the title, Inspiring Edge, I think I can kind of guess where it comes from. Obviously, the word inspiring. But tell me more about this fashion show.
Okay.
Why a fashion show?
Well, I don't know if you know this, I used to be a dancer, so I used to perform at quite a few places. And I got to a stage where, as you may have known, I've completed university and I needed to find work. You know, going out into the industry, I studied business finance, but I found it very difficult to find work without experience. And this really inspired me, coming from a creative background, to want to create something if it wasn't given to me directly. And that's where the inspiration for Inspiring Edge came about. So it was really just being in a creative environment and industry, but then wanting to do something different and something out of the box. Yeah.
Oh, and how big would you say was your show last year?
For me, it's always big. You know, whether there's 30 people in the audience or there's 150. But last year was, I would say, our best year. We had quite a lot of people, and you know, it really inspired me that other people was inspired by something that started off just as a vision. Yeah. And
I think Haylee's show is really making waves, because me myself, I've contacted designers that I've seen on the show to beg them for dresses, and I know that many of my friends and many people in the fashion industry see these dresses on the catwalk, and they want to buy it instantly, and that's how you know that a fashion show is successful, when it sells the products that it's supposed to sell. And you said in the press release, and I quote Haylee on this one, she says, "Your circumstances do not define you, you do." What does that mean? Where did that come from?
Okay, it came, that statement came from a very vulnerable place for me. As you know, I'm a mum of two, and while studying I found it was very, very difficult at times. You know, I wanted to give up. At times I was, you know, overwhelmed with responsibility, having to attend to my children, having to, you know, hand in my assignments on time and so forth. So it came from a very vulnerable place, but at the same time it always reminded me of why I'm doing it, because it just made me feel like, okay, this is not going to be forever, you know, it's temporal. And a lot of the time that is the case for many people. You know, it's not your circumstance is not going to be the same forever.
Yeah.
So that kind of kept me motivated and kept me believing that, you know, even though it's hard now, things will get better. You know, whatever the choices that I make will determine where I end up. So that was like my little motivation for myself.
And how old were your children when you were studying?
If I can remember correctly, one was 3 and the other was 4.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
So because at 3 and 4, and I'm sure all the mothers out there will agree with me, that is very demanding age for children to be.
Yeah.
They need your care constantly, but you still managed to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard, but I got through. So I'm happy. I'm grateful for that.
And one thing I have to say is that I like that you called your company Embrace You Empire. I like that you put Empire at the end.
Yeah.
So do you hope, or do you dream that your children will grow into this company and take it over for you?
Yeah, I have my daughter already. She draws designs, and she's going to be modelling in this year's show actually. So that's amazing, and she always talks about the show when we're handing out flyers and we're doing promotional stuff.
Yeah.
They take pride in, you know, giving out flyers and inviting people and engaging with people. So I guess I'm very excited for what they will do with the company. And my son's more of a technical guy. He likes gaming and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure we'll find a room for him as well.
Well, if he's technical, he can help with the lights, or as we say in the film industry, he can be an AD or a runner. Okay. He can even be director of your show soon.
Okay, I'm going to tell him that.
Professional opinion.
Okay.
So, now I want to talk about the format of your show. So I did a little bit of reading up, and I'll take this moment to say a really, really heartfelt thank you to Vashtina. Vashtina is an amazing find of yours.
Definitely.
She really knows her stuff, and she's actually the one who contacted me and told me I've got to interview you, which I completely agree with.
Okay, awesome.
So I did some reading up on the material she sent me.
Yeah.
And so at first I thought the Inspiring Edge was just a catwalk show, but I understand it's not just catwalk. What else is going on in the show?
Well, from year 1, we've always tried to make it also like an entertainment environment. So you're not just seeing the standard runway, you're seeing personality, you're seeing individuality, you're seeing people really surfacing at their best potential, and it can be any form of artistic gift, I call it. So for instance, in some of the other years when we done the show, we had poets, singers, we had musicians also playing instruments, which made the show really unique and eccentric. But this year we have something even more spectacular for our guests.
Can you say?
Oh, that would be telling, but just for you, the exclusive is, this year is going to be fashion meets comedy. So we have an amazing lineup of, you know, comedians, some upcoming comedians, and then we have the designers and models, and we have one amazing singer as well who's 15 years old, but she's phenomenal. So yeah, really looking forward to that one as well. Yeah.
And comedy is, I think it will be a really good pull for you as well, in terms of marketing the fashion show and getting people to come, because it's different, it's new, it's not the standard, let's say London Fashion Week catwalk, for example.
I think comedy, laughter is what the world needs right now. So, you know, it would be good to end the year with that joy and that whole you know, festive celebration as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it definitely is a good blend.
Oh, wonderful. So I saw as well that there are 3 titles to be won. So who are going to win these titles and what are these titles?
Okay, so the 3 titles that can be won at Inspired Edge is Best Female Model, Best Male Model and Best Designer. Yeah. Basically, we've been training our models for about 4 weeks, and they will be judged based on their training, how they've developed. Also, they will be judged based on Facebook likes, and lastly, on the day of the show, so how they rip the runway.
So wait, let me get this right, because this is new. These models have been trained for 4 weeks, so it's not just models you hired for the show.
No. Literally, we put out posts and got upcoming models, so models that don't have that much experience. This is a platform.
So you don't have any of the usual divas?
No, hopefully not. No, we still see a bit of the diva behaviour when there's activities where the girls might not want to do.
Yeah.
But overall, they've been quite nice and very hungry to learn. You know, very hungry to learn and excited to be a part of the show. So none of that yet. Probably on the day we'll see the divas, you know, come out.
Competition time, right?
Competition time. Yeah, it did get a bit fiery at our last rehearsal.
Yeah.
Because we did some short interviews as to why the models feel they should win. So
Yeah.
we kind of saw a bit of their fiery sides, so that was it.
But fire is always good, because I think a fire in a young model is really the want. And some people, they say, oh, we just want a model, but there's no fire, there's no passion.
Yeah.
When you see that fire, you know that girl or that boy definitely
really
wants.
Yeah.
And they will try.
Yeah, definitely.
And I find it, and I just have to be repetitive again, I find it amazing that you're not just hiring models, that these are models that you're training for 4 weeks. And when they're being judged, are they being judged just on the catwalk on that night, or are they being judged on how they've been doing for 4 weeks?
A bit of both. So we've been training them, they come in and we're teaching them different forms of skills that they may need on their modelling journey. So it's not only just about being a pretty face and knowing how to walk, it's also about, you know, your personality, about your attitude, about you really becoming the best that you can be, you know, and pushing yourself to your full potential. Then alongside the modelling and the confidence that is presented on the catwalk.
Oh, that is truly, truly amazing. And I think it's going to be even more interesting to watch this show and see that the products on stage, the products being the models themselves, are what Inspiring Edge have helped to create and helped to mold.
Yeah.
And next, speaking about models, I wanted to ask you about young Miss Arabella Dahome. Who has done campaigns for Burberry, as I understand. And she has recently been named the face of the Inspiring Edge brand and fashion show. How did you meet her? There she is. How did you meet her?
Okay, so Miss Arabella, the amazing story, she's a phenomenal young teen international model. And it just seems to be that she has the same ethos as our charity Make a Step have. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but we have just created a creative arts program that works with 5 to 15-year-olds from disadvantaged backgrounds. Some of the work that Arabella wants to do is with young people, and she wants to encourage them to become models or, you know, actors or follow their dreams per se. So it's amazing how both of our efforts and our aims match up. It was Vashtina that actually made the initial meet-up, we could call it, and since then we have plans to work with each other in schools, and also she'll be at the fashion show on the runway. So
we're going to see this amazing teenager as well.
Yeah, you're going to see her on the runway. Inspiring Edge, don't miss it.
So I want to ask you a really important question, and this is very much an entrepreneurial kind of question. What would you say are the downsides of running, and not just a business, but running a fashion show? What is difficult for you, and how do you overcome those difficulties?
Okay, interesting question. I would say firstly it's believing and going at your best throughout, because it does get hard. You know, some things don't work out as you plan. That I find usually throws me off the most, when someone says, okay, you know, I can't make it, or a designer might drop out at the last minute, and you've now got to find, you know, a replacement to ensure that the show is still amazing. So that usually is one of the biggest downfalls in fashion, I think, in general. Also, sometimes getting the finance for the show can be difficult. From 2012, we've always done fundraising campaigns. You know, we've always self-funded the show. So we've been out, we've engaged with the community, and that's how we've made it happen. So those are the main two things I would say. Always challenge who I am and make me think, okay, how much do you really want to inspire people? You know, you can't stop now. Or how valid is what your message is? How valid is it? If when times get hard or when the downfalls come, you just say, you know, pack it in, that's it. So I'd say those two things, definitely.
And so you said finance is one of the issues, and I think everyone who does annual shows knows this. But do you find as the years go by, I mean, now it's your fourth one, and your publicity is obviously growing, because I hear a lot of chatter about Inspiring Edge, Is it becoming easier for you to get finance, or do you still have the same issues every year?
I think it's becoming easier. As you said, because people know about it, they're familiar with it, so they have that kind of trust. But at the same time, as we grow, you know, we're going to be inquiring more, you know, more talented people, and sometimes that costs more, you know. Sometimes people volunteer their time, which is amazing, which helps us as well. But a lot of the time, as we grow, we do expect to incur more costs, but at the same time now we're attracting more corporate brands and more commercial brands, which is making things much more easier. So it's taking that pressure off a little bit. Yeah.
And of course, with Inspiring Edge comes really good corporate backing. And yes, it's going to be like a financial win for you. But I think it also goes without saying that if a fashion show is attracting corporate financial help and corporate standing on itself alone, it goes to show what a great and amazing show it is for these companies to approach you and want to support your show. Now I wanted to ask you about Mecha Step. And we just have to say that properly, right? You have to say it properly, Mecha Step. Tell me about Mecha Step. Tell me about the charity. Where did it start for you being involved in this charity, and where are you going to go with it?
Okay, Make a Step is a creative arts and fashion program. It's designed for 5 to 15-year-olds from disadvantaged backgrounds. It explores art, creativity, fashion, music, creative writing, sport, and many other creative activities. We came up with the idea in, I think it was March this year, and we set a target of £9,000 for us to go and deliver the first program in an orphanage in Jamaica. We managed to achieve it. We had loads of fundraising events, and we worked with these young people, and it was just an amazing experience. I think Make a Step wasn't just for the program, it was for us as individuals as well. It was about us learning that in order for you to achieve anything in life, you need to make a step. You need to take action. So people could connect with Make a Step not only from the charitable aspect of it, but also in their own lives. You know, as I said, you know, if you want to do something, you have to take action to make it happen. So we ran the program anyway for 10 days in Jamaica, and it was great. And now we're planning to develop it. We're planning to go into schools with it. Arabella will be taking part also in some of the school talks that we do, and we're currently running it in a library as well, a local library at the moment. So yeah.
Oh, this is brilliant. And you mentioned earlier that Arabella herself is interested in the same kind of charity and ethos as your company is as well. So it makes a perfect partnership.
Definitely.
So now I'm gonna ask Miss Venus, and I think this is the most important question. How can we all be part of this fashion show next year?
Okay, so to be part of the next Inspiring Edge, you can contact me directly on Facebook at Haylee Venus, or you can email us at inspiringedge@gmail.com. Whether it be the fashion side of stuff that you want to get involved with, or you want to join the empire, both ways you can contact us on that email.
And she's really easy to talk to, I promise.
Thank you.
It was an absolute pleasure having you here on my show. And I have to say, and I truly do mean this, you've really inspired me. And a lot of the times we hear people saying all the right words, but based on what you're doing, you know what, I'm ready to make that step.
Okay, make a step, girl.
So we have a little gift for you from MSC Ink.
Oh my goodness.
It's a small little gift, but I hope you find it meaningful. So it's a little swan to put on your Christmas tree.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
And I was just thinking about your fashion show and what it stands for, and I just thought of making flight, and I hope very much that your show really takes flight this year, and next year in St. Lucia will be an absolute success.
Thank you.
So for all our viewers, the Inspiring Edge fashion show will be taking place on the 19th of this month. It is at the Irish Cultural and Community Centre. Tickets are on Eventbrite, and you can find the link to those tickets on the fashion show's Facebook page, which is Inspiring Edge Fundraiser Fashion Show 2015. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you there.